Welcome back, guys. If you're just coming back now, well, you missed a game where Gen.G looked fantastic, and you can't say the same about their opponents this time around. We'll see if SKT can bring it back in game number 2, but Gen.G really looking good. You know, I want to bring the negativity away from SKT because, yeah, they're not looking great, kind of the same problems that plagued them before, but Gen.G really turning a new leaf and looking great.
It's great communication as well. This play, outstanding.
That's the one.
Trust between Haru and Core JJ. The heal right at the end for Moore to live even longer on the Xin Zhao. This was really, really good, and Gen.G are making us believers. They're showing that despite not changing, there is a lot of strength in their roster. Fly, of course, is the big change, we should admit. Meanwhile, SKT kept the same 10 players, and unfortunately, they just don't seem to have an answer in multiple roles. I thought Wolf was very poor in this game, and if I was on the side of SKT, I'd definitely be reconsidering going with effort again. But it's moments like this where Wolf says, hey, I'm going to get a 3-man ult. And he did, bless his heart. Unfortunately, no one else is there to capitalize on it and ends up just baiting further destruction onto the side of SKT.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the replay of that, you can notice that right when Wolf is going in for the flash engage, the rest of his team is backing out. Nobody's actually going in there. Even though they have vision with the control ward, nobody else is saying, yeah, we're going to fight this, except Wolf. And it's just, you know, the communication issues together as a team, maybe not the best decision there. And, well, they got to change up something. At that point, we see another Zoe play where it's like, okay, well, your team is, you know, almost 15,000 gold ahead. This is bound to happen. And she did have the most damage in the game, and Fly did play a great game. But we'll see what happens in game number 2. Maybe they can take that Zoe away or whatever. I also think that Haru looked fantastic on the Xin Zhao at the end of the day.
First pick Xin Zhao were the Zoe coming in as well, though. The fact that they got both. The Xin Zhao first pick was an eye-opener because Zoe was open, and they got Zoe anyway. And then you have one of the strongest 2v2s possible. Maybe Lulu Xin might be stronger, but I'm a pretty big fan of the Zoe Xin. And I was a pretty big fan of Fly this game. He deserves the MVP. I think he'll get it. He was pretty amazing. So we're going to wait over. Our producer tells us the MVP is ready to give it to Fly. We want to hear from him anyway. There he is.
It's going to be Fly. No big surprise there. Yes, Haru and Core JJ together did have a super play, but Fly was on point, was hitting all the Sleepy Trouble bubbles. Won the lane, essentially, up against FLICKR. Got his flash early. And that's going to be his second MVP, actually.
And he's smiling. And that interview where he said, I can't talk trash because I haven't achieved anything, is getting better, Valdez, because at the end of the day, if he keeps performing like this, he can unleash some big words. And he is a big personality. It was already a value add to have him back in the LCK because he's a character. And what can you say but that he had a great time in lane against Lulu? Let's see what FLICKR makes of game 2, because maybe it's screw it Yasuo time for FLICKR.
Maybe it's screw it, make your jungle play Lulu, and I'll play the carry this time. That might be what FLICKR's thinking right now. But, by the way, the stat that we did have above Fly is that he hits 37% of his Sleepy Trouble bubbles.
That's pretty good.
15 out of the 41 that he has done. That's a lot, guys. If you played Zoe, you've seen Zoe, it's hard to hit every one. And so, props to him. We are going to go into pick and ban for game number 2 now. This time SKT will be on the blue side.
No roster changes for either team, so no effort, no blank. No change for SKT, but a change in the bans because goodbye. We go to the Zoe. They don't want to first pick it on blue side. They'd probably first pick Aurelia, but that's been banned as well. And targeting FLICKR with everyone else kind of being just murmurs on the past is probably a good way to go for Gen.G.
They're holding their breath, waiting for SKT to win. I hope SKT can win so they can take a breath, otherwise might have some unfortunate fans here.
It's pretty incredible to me that SKT have been forced to ban Taliyah twice. One game with Blank where you're like, okay, you know, doesn't really strike you as a Taliyah player. Now Blossom's in the lineup and apparently still they're not willing to play the first pick Taliyah. FLICKR, of course, a good Taliyah player himself. Lulu is banned away, so 3 mid lane bans come through from Gen.G. Why not? Nocturne Shen available, and separating that duo is usually a good way to go. We'll talk a little bit about Shen priority if it is the first pick. It's a surprise to most. It's very likely to be the first pick here for SKT.
Yeah. Had a couple of Gen.G fans out there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy on the 2-0. And also Sexy Cube on the left there. Liked that one. But yeah, Shen comes in. Thinking about a Tom Kench. Maybe deciding, you know, could be pretty good up against the Shen, but also just in general here for CoreJJ.
Tom Ezreal could just be taken first round on the red side here by Gen.G. They played that lane already recently. See if that is the choice from their side. They're happy to first pick Tom Kench. And they're not going to rush for the Ezreal because Camille is open. And they're going to have Haru jump onto the Camille. This guy won the game on his own. Game number 2 against Kingzone. And that's pretty scary to see.
Well, she came from China over to Korea. Gen.G fighting. You guys could have read that one yourselves.
That one, these ones say SKT.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, God. We're actually doing it.
Okay, there we go. But the question is Blossom going to play Yi, and is FLICKR going to play Taric?
You know who is a much more famous Yi than Blossom?
Who's that?
FLICKR.
Well, there you go.
His mid lane Yi is famous. Which way does this go?
That would be the way it goes. FLICKR looks pissed off, and maybe this is the way he wins a game.
In game 1, I said this will never happen because FLICKR wouldn't play the Taric. Maybe he doesn't need to, Valdez. Suddenly, we need to wait for 20 seconds to know who's going to be jungling and who is not. Wait and see on that one. Blossom certainly strikes me as a Yi player, so wow. I think Gen.G is surprised by this. We haven't seen any Master Yi Taric bans today, and someone had to go the full distance. This already is must-watch League of Legends. Everyone needs to know. Because if SKT lose with this strategy, which we've seen so far 1-0, I mean, there's not really much worse of a week or worse of a 4 games you could give for the SKT fans.
Yeah, it's rough, you know. MVP was able to win it up against BBQ, who's currently looking like one of the weakest teams here, but using it against Gen.G, who just came off a win against KZ and he just lost to them. Let's hope it works out for you guys. I don't know.
So when you talk about the ways that we've seen this strategy beaten, because it was actually beaten in, I believe, Academy today over in NA. It's usually about a lot of different CC, a lot of disengage, choosing your timings, and, you know, usually a little bit of misplay on the side of the Yi. Let's wait and see what happens in this particular case. Seeing the bans come through, actually banned away to the Dr. Mundo, as they don't want to deal with another pseudo carry. Top lane Mundo in the late game with the Yi running. I imagine Yi with Highlander and Mundo with ultimate's pretty blood-curdling to face.
Oh, God.
Gen.G trying to work out what they want to use here. They've already got bot lane and okay.
Ooh, Ornn, okay. Not Ornn. Braum. I was thinking about Ornn because we saw Ornn in tandem with the Yi to help out with some CC.
Braum's going mid lane.
You think so?
It's exhaust mid lane.
Yeah.
So it's almost certainly going to be Braum mid lane with this strategy. It's going to be a power farm Camille. Are we going to see a different carry come through? Things getting really interesting on the red side. I feel like Yi Taric beats every power farm duo. I feel like that is the prototype of the power farm duo as bot lane being locked in here. Will it be Ezreal Shen or will it be a different support locked in? There's a lot of interesting stuff going on this draft. This draft suddenly became
all over the place.
Super interesting.
Or, as I was saying before, it really works well just to make sure everybody's standing still. It's one of the best at doing that, but it's not very good against Braum.
Okay.
So they're going to go with Karthus. I'll let you unpack this, Papa Smithy. I think you're better at handling this.
So it might just be a Karthus takeaway. It's very interesting that they've gone Karthus here as Gen.G just say, yeah, we'll just look in Cho'Gath. Of course you will. There's a lot of interesting stuff happening here. Mid lane Tom Kench, is that going to happen? What are we doing? Because Braum mid lane is expected. The Ashe Tom Kench is what we thought originally. It's more CC, and maybe that's why the Cho'Gath is there. It's purely for crowd control, because if you consider the team, they actually have a lot of ways to kill Yi. Because knock up, silence, Camille stun, Braum knock up, and the Hextech ultimatum are all pretty effective against a Master Yi. And it seems like FLICKR's going to be playing the Taric.
Really?
Yes.
He's going to play Taric in a professional game. Okay, there it is. No swaps. We're after 20 seconds, and FLICKR with heal on Taric in the mid lane. Taric versus Braum. tell your friends to, they haven't watched League of Legends in a while, just come on in and just don't tell them anything. And just say, hey, watch this game. Taric versus Braum in the mid lane. They won't know what's going on.
So I guess the Karthus was a takeaway from Gen.G when they saw the Braum. We weren't going to see a Braum Graves again. That one is out the window.
Yeah.
But the cost is that now Cho'Gath is there, and Cho'Gath can certainly chomp on a squishy Karthus at times. Very, very interesting. SKT have gone so far into the new meta that maybe they've just turned themselves around again and again. They're kind of like a guy twirling around in a gaming chair and getting a bit dizzy.
They made their way out of the wormhole in Bronze 5, and this is the real composition.
But, I mean, Bronze 5 turned out to be Challenger when this Master Yi Taric stuff took off.
That's what I'm saying.
They're looking real Challenger.
You go out one side in pro game, you make your way to Bronze 5. Maybe it can carry this time. Let's see in game number 2.
시간사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
This happened, Valdes. This is a draft.
Happening, yeah.
Are we sure we're not in a dream? What are your ways to check if you're in a dream now? Because we've all had some lucid dreams.
Well, some of the things that I would do is look at a clock, see if it's, specifically a wristwatch, and see if it's turning all over the place or the numbers are flipping around.
Now, this is not something that's actually affected my real life, but in dreams, my strategy when I don't like the dream is to try to sleep in the dream.
Really?
That actually does work. For me, at least.
You just, like, pass out
I'm just
in the dream? You're like, oh, enough of this dream.
I can't do that in real life. I can't
this.
sleep very well on planes, but it does work in dreams for some reason. I'm going to try and go to sleep now and see if I can wake up some other time.
Yeah, you just take a rest, and I'll try to handle this game somehow.
It's not working, Valdes.
You know, the thing about this, too, is I love the Cho'Gath pick. I think it's super smart. I don't know whose idea it was, but you were mentioning the silence, but also it's so good into Karthus, right? Karthus not very fast. It's not going to have any summoners to go directly up against that Cho'Gath. If you can land your E and slow, knock up into silence and feast, there's no way the Karthus ever wins. You build some magic resist, and you win 1v1 as long as you keep your feast. But, like, then against E, it's so good, too. You can try to feast him. If there's no ultimate, you can try to silence him so he can't cast any Q or any ability. And all that extra engage you talked about, the Camille, even the Braum as well, an arrow if it could hit. It's going to be pretty intense for Blossom to carry FLICKR's Taric in the mid lane.
And Taric has gone for the exhaust heal, so he's a combat bot, I guess we'll call him, because he certainly doesn't want to be alone. FLICKR is the furthest away from a carry. Lulu with Ignite the first game, I was like, yeah, okay, that's a battle support. Now it is, I guess, going to be a problem.
FLICKR's going to be stunned up here, and the red buff on Haru, level 2, means that with no flash, FLICKR is not going to live. They're trying to give the kill to Haru, and he flashes in. First blood as Haru picks it up and will scoop up the mid farm too.
It requires a triple flash, but the level 1 didn't give them deep vision. They didn't even need deep vision. Gen.G, they find him in the cookie jar, and by him, it's the duo of Blossom and FLICKR. FLICKR ain't got no flash. FLICKR ain't got no life. The duo has already taken a hit in the farming battle.
Yeah, that's a rough start for them. And now just with that, I mean, they can even push in, force Blossom to stick around here. FLICKR gonna come in and take away some of that XP, I suppose. But yeah, why not? Let's take a look at the replay.
I mean, CoreJJ's so smart. He rushes straight up mid lane after they pushed and says, I think they're gonna be on bot lane scuttle. We saw them leave mid lane, and you know what? I guess you didn't need to be a super prophet to make this happen. It's triple flash, so it's actually a lot of summoners used to actually register the kill, but it's about sending a message, and the slave Taric is already not doing so well.
Yeah, it definitely is not. I mean, you said it best. The thing about this kind of meta and this strategy is it's really predictable, right? That's why if you can get wards, if you have an invading 2v2, or if you can push in the bottom side, right? You can't make that happen. FLICKR, he doesn't have flash, by the way, so there's no, like, he's going to flash over the wall and stun someone here, guys. He's just saying, hey, I have nothing better to do. Let me just say hello to the bot lane.
Well, I mean, there was no reason for him to be mid lane, so I guess that makes sense. He's back again. This is happening. I already tried sleeping Valdez. Do you have any other ideas on ending this cool dream?
Well, generally when I think I'm in a lucid dream, I try to fly. And it most of the time works. So you could try to fly away from here. That could maybe work.
I was hoping you would take off your headset and give it a go. But on the side of Gen.G, Fly and Haru also going to say Haru got a Tiamat, so they can actually start pushing into the Master Yi. That's a very big purchase given this matchup, because one advantage you had for Yi is he can Alpha Strike, and there is no AoE on the side of the Camille. But still going to be plenty of farm onto Yi, and this strategy could still work, you know? We saw it hit a critical mass. Yeah. There were kills against the Master Yi Taric for the Nunu Karthus, and then the game ended. So in the late game, they do have the theory of a lot of AP on Karthus and a lot of damage on Yi.
And it definitely does speak to the selflessness of FLICKR to say, hey, you know, I'm known as the best player in the world. I'm going to play Taric mid with heal exhaust. And they're looking for their first kills here. No flash on the court, JJ, and he misses the taunt. Is it going to matter, though? No. The gray health is going to be used up. They're trying to give this over to... trying to give it a Blossom, but it goes to FLICKR instead. Gets the kill, and now Blossom in a lot of trouble here. Actually is able to Q out of that one. Somehow jumps onto a minion that's a bit away from everyone, and a big cheer comes from the crowd as he survives.
You need to play the fight without laughing.
That was just too funny, man. The Taric picked up the kill after all that.
He just gave him the hammer. What more do you expect from FLICKR?
Just whacked him in the face, man. He's just too used to carrying. He can't not take the kills.
We'll get into his ancient coin. His Nomad's medallion will be there a little bit earlier. And now you go back to the power farming. You know, it wasn't a great start for the Blossom FLICKR duo, but they do have a kill between the two of them. And you best believe Bang's back with his tier call.
He's back here after TPing in the lane with his tier call.
I really need Karthus to also go Catalyst and tier, by the way, and just be like, if this game goes 60, we win automatically.
They really do. I mean, the games have been slowing down just a bit, so I suppose there's a thought in there. Well, we can take advantage of this.
Backing on a ward, Core JJ. Wolf has his wits around him.
Yeah.
Just want to bring out the Shen, because Shen was the first pick in this game. Shen priority is very high in the LCK. I had a couple of people asking me about that. The big story from the Korean support players and also from Cloud Templar when I spoke to him yesterday is that the belief is that Shen wins basically every double bruiser lane, just because Shen has the taunt, but also the dodge field for auto attacks against a Yasuo or Darius, for example. Yeah. So it's very strong there. The pairing of the Nocturne Shen doesn't need too much explanation. That's very powerful as well. It's a fighting meta, so the ultimate gets a lot of value, whether it's in the support role or the top lane role. Now, if you pair him against a Soraka, very, very painful. In standard lanes, it is a very poor choice. We saw after the Aftershock nerf that Shen kind of lost a lot of lane presence. There's definitely counterplay, but it gives enough options and it doesn't show anything about your comp that it is rising as a first pick.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. I believe we did see it in MVP's game when they played it in the support role, just adding that extra shield to help out the Master Yi. It's also not bad.
FLICKR working towards his Ardent Sensor with the Amp Tome. That's what he got with his Snowball Gold, an Amp Tome. Some big deeps on the way.
Yep, whatever it takes to help Blossom get the kill, I guess. Hopefully this time he doesn't steal it away.
In 2018, I watched FLICKR freeze a wave for his jungler.
Stuff you wouldn't believe if you said it in 2017, or even earlier this year. And to clarify that it's summer.
May I mention that the superior farming duo here, when it comes to Scuttle Crab, is 4-0 for Gen.G, so they have been opening up a big lead. I've just arbitrarily decided I'm going to talk about it in soccer terms, 4-0.
4-0.
It's not 0 for some reason. The World Cup's on. I guess it's probably the right time to use that verbiage.
Yeah.
But you can't swap the World Cup for this. This is something you need to be watching.
This is real entertainment, guys. Don't let your friends tell you anything else. FLICKR playing Taric is just a whole new level.
I mean, so far he froze the wave. He's made a couple of roams. He might die.
Uh-oh. Oh, the Radiance is going to come in here, and Karthus is going to ult. They're going for Haru. There's that engage, but he can. Oh, he might get out of here. No, not quite. The red buff is going to do it, and now he's going to get a second kill. But the coming up here from the bottom lane, Ruler and Core JJ, FLICKR, the best Taric player you've ever seen. Isn't going to matter, though. One more volley will do it. And down goes the FLICKR. 2 for 2 so far, but both kills onto Taric is happy times. Or onto Yi is happy times. Shen has decided to find his maker. Wants to execute. Will he get it? Probably. Got delayed there a little bit.
Does end up being a 2 for 2. Bot lane already evacuated. In fact, Ezreal was able to push in the waves. They were able to deny a bit of CS there. It's who the kills went to that is important. Yi picking up the 2 kills. Remember, Beyond's triple and everything that followed after that. We're going to watch the replay. They initiated onto FLICKR, but he's tanky. He's got exhaust heal. Uses the heal very early. The ultimate isn't used by Haru to try to dodge the Karthus ultimate. Ends up only buying a little bit of time. The 1-for-1 happens. Shen executes. This is not the worst case scenario for SKT.
Yeah, it's not half bad. And you begin to realize the idea behind the Karthus too. Could have been denial, but also just to secure the kill execution for Yi so that he continues with the resets is also extremely important. And man, it worked out, you know? Had that Karthus not been there for that extra little bit of damage, he might not have gotten the kill onto Haru. He might not have been able to continue on to Fly, and he might not have gotten those 2 kills. So in the end, in those, you know, boring top lane fights, after you ban Rise and Singed, maybe you can just go for a Karthus and farm up in the top side.
Watching the mid lane.
Now, speaking of which, we got another fight here. No ultimate from the Taric this time around, but here comes Blossom. Is going to get 1 kill, but there is a Tom Kents to say hello. Double kill goes over to Haru.
JJ could have used his Devour defensively and actually kept his ally alive, but he decided better than that and didn't use it. That was weird, but regardless, they do trade up once again. Another kill to Yi, and that is the only thing we need to keep pointing out is that Yi reaches critical mass. Taric presses ultimate, bad things happen. There is a lot of CC, there's a lot of answers, and yet there's a lot of outplay for a Yi.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, kills are also going over to Haru too. He's not quite the hyper carry that Yi is, but we've seen what can happen. It generally used to happen from the top lane, but a Camille that gets out of control can just begin to nearly one-shot you off of a 1 combo. So got to be careful about that. So the idea behind the Braum is to give all that extra farm over to Camille, so she better be able to carry in her own right.
It's good gank timing from Gen.G while they knew Cosmic Radiance was on cooldown. Here is that fearsome duo, Camille Braum. For things that are even less expected. Somehow that was unexpected even today, knowing everything that I knew about the meta.
Yeah.
Haru in the cookie jar himself.
Now, we talked about how Graves and Braum are fantastic at invading and getting over walls because he can dash over, but so can Camille with the hook shot.
She bounced in the wrong way and I got worried, but never mind. Able to get away is Haru.
I mean, you just begin to look for different carries. The Graves wasn't working, so might as well try something else in the Camille.
The retooled comp from Gen.G, putting the Braum mid, got them again. Another lockdown machine to deny the Master Yi. So that's what they got here. It's not ideal to have Braum Camille. Don't try this at home. You can find better things to put with the Braum, but it is a lot more extra shutdown on a Yi, and while you won't be able to kill him through the Cosmic Radiance, they have a comical amount of crowd control. The most crowd control. I believe if they all use their abilities with 40% CDR, it would never end. If they don't have CDR, it might still never end. That's how much CC they have.
Yeah. It is a lot. And I saw some people after the MVP game doing the SpongeBob meme with the alternating, you know, capital saying, oh, just use CC. Well, I think in this case, it's a lot more than what we saw at a BBQ, so it might actually work. Trying to engage on a Blossom here, gonna have to use that Radiance, and he is gonna go in here with the Karthus ultimate, but down goes the Taric ultimate. He's still going up to Haru, though. There's the heal, but finally he goes down. A 3-man stun from the Taric, but it's not enough. And now Wolf in a lot of trouble, is gonna be knocked up and should be dead here. Will be a 2-0 in favor of Gen.G.
The CC overcomes the only job blast right at the tail end of the story. The Tahm Kench's mobility with Ally is outclassing the ability of Shen to keep someone alive a little longer. They get that mid lane turret, they grow a gold lead, it's now 3,600.
It's getting a little bit out of control now, and we're gonna have a look at the replay. It looked pretty decent for Gen.G. Got the stun onto Blossom here.
Watch the replay. They start off with the stun, but it's a very nice dodge, actually, to delay when the stun comes through. Blossom cancels an auto that I believe would have got the first kill. It wouldn't have been enough to keep him alive. If you watch Blossom at the end, auto, then he loses his target because of the vision. So unfortunate. That means that Haru does end up winning that 1-for-1. Everyone's out of position, and predictably, goodbye, Wolf.
Wolf got a really nice taunt there, too, onto two members that would have been able to burst down the Yi, regardless of the vision battle. But either way, it just wasn't enough. And as you said before, in the MVP game, it was a triple kill for the Yi, and he got out of control. But this time, he's struggling a little bit to get into that Guinsoo's Rage Blade and get into carry mode.
And also, looking back at the comp he was facing, there was a Gragas knockaway and basically nothing else. Whereas this comp, doubling down to the point of taking Braum, is about interrupting and knocking up and stunning, etc. So there is a lot of tools here, and a Feast will also go through any sort of damage mitigation.
Yeah, the Feast is going to be fun a little bit later on. That's why he's talking about how Cho'Gath feels like the perfect pick, not just for the lane, but also against the Yi.
I also have a prophecy. We have Fly in this game. And consider that this guy plays everything. We saw BDD try to steal away his Aurelion Soul, then he put on an Aurelion Soul masterclass himself. This is a guy who will play Poppy mid into Aurelia because of the ability of Poppy's steadfast presence. If you take Mad Science, the Mad Scientist, you can't be surprised if he has something new. And even without a prototypical hard farming duo, the Braum mid holds a lot of value in this 1v1.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, the Braum was picked after the second banning phase, too. So it was like they saw this coming. They had some time to think about it, you know, take time to make the bans and everything, and then pick the perfect pick. And, well, gotta hand it to them. They really did a fantastic job in the draft. We'll see if they can close this one out. Haru's beginning to get a bit out of control now, as her Sheen, as well as a 2-0-1 ruler Ashe. So have a bit of damage coming out of the Ashe, too.
Watching Bang go top lane, trying to find a short lane to farm in after his lane was taken down. Notably, his Cull not cashed in. Gonna finish it just about now. Uses his ultimate to get that last bit of oomph towards his Trinity Force, and Muramano, I imagine, will transform soon. It's still nil, by the way, on the Rift Scuttlers, 6-0. On that particular side, the Rift Herald also, it's no map control at all. To me, the biggest thing from between these two teams, I imagine this game will be scrutinized. Defensive flash required, is that the control wards from Gen.G have been aggressive control wards, and the control wards have been absent from SKT. Gen.G has known so much about where people are going around mid lane from about minute 7, maybe even earlier than that, whereas SKT's kind of been hoping and praying, and information advantage has been big for Gen.G.
Blossom with another Blossom-esque mistake. This time he doesn't have Flash, though. Gonna rely on that Cosmic Radiance just to disengage, and a TP comes in from a Karthus. That was never going to work out. Here we go with actually the Rift Herald now that was taken. Blossom able to dodge that Braum ultimate, but man, now their lane's even being pushed, and there's not much that SKT can do now.
No, they're gonna give up at least one turret, maybe even give Shelly a second try at this next one. Really nice push from Gen.G. SKT in full disarray. This has gone, again, completely against expectation. Will they be able to break the inhibitor at 18 minutes? They're getting close.
Well, finally, Shelly turns around and gives them a chance to take her down, but that turret will also go down here, and the inhibitor is exposed. And again, there's no combo, no Cosmic Radiance, no TP on Tall. It's just disarray, as you said. No way for them to defend when their combo is not online.
Gen.G get the first inhibitor at 18 minutes, and the combo is Highlander and Cosmic Radiance, both of them on cooldown. Both of them are used very defensively. Right now, 2,000 gold lead for the Jungle Camille with 211 CS. hasn't even been the most hard farming of move because he's been looking for playmaking, so it's not comically farmed. And meanwhile, Ruler has 203 CS of his own, so he doesn't even need the setup does Ruler. As, you know, again, he talked a lot of mess. He keeps delivering this Korean representative AD carry.
Yeah, amongst all the cheese, the weird strategies, the Ashe, the Ezreal, the Kai'Sa, everything coming out, still available here for Ruler. Looking good doing so. And, well, SKT, they're on a bit of a timer here. We are going to have this Baron spawn up, and with an inhibitor down, and Gen.G still continuing to push. They're going to have to go for one fight that actually gets Blossom into that backline and gets them some kills, or else, you know, they're going to be on cooldown again and they might just lose another inhibitor, which by that point, it might be too late.
I think his items are too late also. It's only just the Rage Blade, which is a nice big spike, has the Devourer Rage Blade complete. But it seems like too little too late for Blossom. There is a Knight's Vow Trinity Force Tiamat Warrior on Haru. He is able to initiate, will not die quickly, and does a heck of a lot of damage. So SKT purely on the back foot. Baron isn't going to be started yet. Baron damage actually not fantastic from Gen.G, even though the Baron secure is very good with the Cho'Gath. Someone has to pick up the super minions. You want it to be Blossom to get more items, but Blossom can't go there, and Gen.G just on the Baron.
Now this is going to be the end of it. No TP onto Tal, and they can just turn around. The Car ultimate coming out here, but it's not enough damage in the front line. The Cosmic Radiance finally comes out. Blossom trying to do that damage, but he's targeting the Tom Kent. It's not going to be enough, and down he does go. The last knockup, 3 members go down. 4 members, actually, and that will be it. The Baron is going to go over to Gen.G. They're going to look to close out the game after that.
There's no way Gen.G lose this game. They will beat SK Telecom T1 2-0. First victory for them since Worlds, and you know what? They'll take it now. It's a perfect time for them. Very nice mechanics from Haru on the back end to assassinate Bang as well. Baron is picked up. The spirits are completely broken of the largely SKT fan base who are live here, and I imagine most of you at home as well. Baron taken down at 11,000 gold lead. SK Telecom T1 roll the dice again and are found wanting.
And we'll take another look at the fight. It was just kind of desperation. They had to fight. The Karthus ultimate comes in, and Cosmic Radiance as well, but Wolf dies. They don't have that support.
Just before the Cosmic Radiance dies, but watch Haru flashes
really nice
in and then gets him with the ultimate following over. That was beautiful from Haru, who needs Camille banned against him. This guy is a monster on this jungle Camille. No, remember, Cuve's on the team. This guy was the best top lane Camille we had in spring season.
Yeah.
And ever since Haru's come back on the lineup, we've always known if it's Camille, it's Haru.
Ban Camille against Haru, for sure. I mean, he even had a Braum to help him farm. It looks weird, but actually the Camille Braum wins out against the Taric E in the end. And the question that remains for me is, why Blossom on the Yi? You know, we've seen a couple of mistakes already. FLICKR was known to bring out the Yi in the mid lane and just crush people with that from time to time. He knows the mechanics of Yi. He knows how to play this duo from both sides. He should. So why not put your star player on the Yi instead of giving it to Blossom?
If you go through the things FLICKR has done this season, he's tried to play carry, he's tried to play facilitator, he's gone bot lane, he's gone mid lane, and now he's a support. They're trying it all, Valdez. They don't know the right way to move forward, and none of those strategies have worked. They will be 0-4 very, very soon. Minion wave coming in mid. Do they try one more desperate fight? SK Telecom T1.
Well, they're going to have to, unless they want to straight up lose the game. And let's see what they decide to do here. Down about 14,000 gold with one more turret. Here they go. The Cosmic Radiance comes in, but there's that silence. Trying to do the damage to Cuve. He's getting pretty low down there, but they can't kill him. And Blossom is finally going to go down. The last breath of SKT in this game with them. And that's going to do it here. Haru with the stopwatch even, saying he's going to live, and then he dies anyway. Down goes the Nexus, 2-0 Gen.G. Master Yi and Taric does not work again. And SKT still looking for a way to win.
4 days into the season, Gen.G strike me as one of the big favorites to at least regular season excel in a meta that seems set up for them to fail. And SKT's blushes are spared by BBQ. They have not had the worst performance over 4 days, but they've had the second worst. They have no idea what strategy to play. They have no idea what to do with FLICKR, what he should be playing. And unfortunately for them, they have to keep playing with not a lot of time to turn around. They're a slow team historically to find out the meta. They're trying to play the perceived meta, and it is not working.
That it is not. They're going to continue trying different combinations. And you have to think at this point, well, they've tried 2 different junglers. How about the other roles? Maybe we see Untara again. Maybe we see Effort come in. Those would be the 2 most obvious ones. I don't think you can really replace FLICKR and Bang. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Blossom, head looking down. It's understandable. Did not really have the best day today in terms of his 2 games. A couple of mistakes on the Rengar and the Yi. But you know, at least he was aggressive. Some of the fans of SKT that were looking for aggression, they got it in spades from him, but it was a little bit too much.
10-man roster, and there just really is no prodigal son to bring back in. You could bring in Effort. I thought Wolf had a poor series. Does it change anything? No. Blossom was supposed to be the revelation from the jungle role, and it was a different look, but it wasn't one that looked closer to winning necessarily than Blank. It's kind of choose your poison with the 2, and here we are. You know, it doesn't feel good to speak about the greatest squad that ever played League of Legends this way, the greatest player on your screen to ever play this game, and yet with Coma still there and FLICKR still there, you've seen through all their gameplay so far this season that they have no idea how to get anywhere forward. They're stuck in the back line. They're stuck with BBQ with no wins on the season.
Yeah. Well, hopefully amongst this new meta, they can find some new strange way to come out of the depths that they're in, because 0-2, not a good look for the beginning of summer season for SKT, but Gen.G, once again, looking good. 3 flashes to get the start off here for Haru to get him fed up against FLICKR. And then from there, the Camille Braum duo against the Yi Taric duo ends up winning.
The level 2 certainly set the trend. I really liked Core JJ's roam. They fought so hard to get level 2, and Core JJ packed up and said, I bet he's at Scuttle Crab, and boy, they were. The duo of Blossom and FLICKR. That seems to be what they were practicing, I guess, in solo queue, was Blossom went for this Master Yi side of the coin. But unfortunately, they couldn't get enough items. They were beaten in CS. They had no Scuttle Crabs unless one was picked up way after the game was decided. Ruler was excellent on the Ashe, putting out a lot of damage and not dying in most of the engagements. And then this was the Hail Mary. This is when they tried something. This was with Karthus defending in base, trying to make it happen, but Haru is the one. Look at Haru on the outside, being able to run, rotate, and kill Bang. Beautiful stuff on his Camille.
Yeah.
Teams watching this, facing Gen.G in the future, ban the Camille. It's free advice. Straight from the mouth of Haru.
Yeah, free consulting straight from the mouth of Haru and Papa Smithy ban it out. And even though Yi had the most damage in the game, and he got close in a couple of those fights, even that one at Baron, the stopwatch out of Braum to save his life so that Yi couldn't continue with his resets means that, you know, they go down, Bang not living as well. It's just all a team effort. The roam from Core JJ, he was the first one to get there every time with the Abyssal Voyage over the Shen as well. Even though he missed that one Devour onto his teammate with the late flash, he still had a fantastic game. Gotta shout out to the supports from time to time, because really he was part of the reason why they won.
I just have no advice for SKT. I feel like I have nothing to contribute. We've seen them try everything. I would have suggested some of the things we've seen over 4 games with roster. You can keep rejigging things, but it just right now doesn't seem like it's going to lead to anything fruitful. I thought Gen.G were very good. Fly a monster in the first game, and I like the adaptation to go Braum and not even fully commit to, say, a Braum Graves. Just go with the Camille and make it work anyway. He was step ahead, so were Gen.G. I'm very excited to see Gen.G play more. I think they have a chance to run anyone close. They've taken down Kingzone and SKT, so they've got an easier schedule moving forward than some of the other teams around the mark. Africa KT, tomorrow's first match, might be their biggest opposition. Let's give the MVP over. Let's see who it's going to be. It's going to be Haru. He's back on the Camille, and 2 games of Camille, 2 MVPs for Haru.
Yep, there he is, 7-2-2. Effective gankings, 3 in total. But to be serious, he really had a fantastic game. Got to ban him out, and it said they're up at the top. Haru's Camille is OP. And I mean, that's
Come join me here.
No secret to anyone else right now, as we are going to have our MVP interview with Fly, our first MVP, and Taru, our second MVP.
A perfect victory against SK Telecom. And so let's hear from Fly and Haru, the main characters of today's series. So how do you feel?
잘 모르겠어요. 기분이
Well,
좋아요.
I don't know. I just feel good. Another victory, it feels really good. What about you, Haru?
연습 경기 때 좀 잘 풀렸는데
I think we did really well in the scrims, and I'm just glad that we could pull that out in competitive games.
많이 한 건지 아니면 살이 엄청 빠진 것 같아요 지금.
And Haru, it seems like you lost a lot of weight.
살은 좀 다이어트 좀 했어요.
Well, I was on a diet
운동하면서
during the
연습하고, 네, 그런
vacation.
어떤 다이어트예요?
I worked out a little bit, and I was on
식으로. 네, 헬스장을
some kind of diet. I went to the gym every day, so I worked out really hard.
여름 맞아가지고. 아, 근데 뭐 플라이 선수는 그 지난번에도 이렇게 승리를 딱.
So Fly,
조금 뭐 이제 신중하게.
you seem really calm during the interview.
지금은 굉장히 좀 편해졌네요.
What about you now? How do you feel?
아무래도 지금 앞에 한 경기 킹존이랑 저희 이번에 한 SKT랑
Well, we faced Kingzone and SK Telecom,
맞죠.
and I think I really performed well during the game, so I was feeling really relaxed.
자세가 저절로 이렇게 된 것 같아요.
You do seem like you're really feeling comfortable.
오늘 또 궁금한 것이 사실 그 조합적인 측면에 대한 내용들이
So
계속
there's a
나왔었습니다.
question about team comp.
왜냐면은 처음에 마타 조합의 카서스가 상대편에 좀 등장을
So
했었거든요.
SK Telecom picked Master Yi and Tariq and also Karthus. What are your comments about that team comp?
왜냐면 사실 이걸 먼저 말씀드리고 싶은 게 미드 아니 뭐 일단은 뭐 하루 선수 어떻게 생각했어요? 상대편
So
조합.
what are your comments, Haru?
일단 마타 조합 자체는 굉장히 무서운 조합이긴
I think
한데
Tariq and Master Yi comp is really strong.
그에 맞게 좀 잘
But
뽑았다
today,
생각해가지고
I think we
네.
did also prepare really strong team comp overall, so it wasn't really that
그 조합이 말
strong
나온 김에
as you
사실
predicted.
브라움에 관련된 말씀 안 드릴 수가 없는 게 미드 브라움의 창시자는 외국 분들한테 모르면
And we have a question about Braum in mid lane. You know, you're the inventor of mid Braum, right? In solo queue.
이렇게 얘기해요. 미드 브라움 누구죠?
아 그래요?
그렇죠.
Well, I actually didn't know.
다 그런 얘기를 하던데. 그래서 근데 사실 요즘에 브라움에 대해서 약간
So there are a lot of
아쉬운 장면이 나왔었을 때
comments going around with Braum in mid lane. What are your comments about that?
제가 경기 보면서 생각을 해봤는데
So yeah, I did watch the previous match, and I felt like I could do better if I were the mid laner in the past series.
그리고 분명히 오늘 잘했으니까 두 선수가 오늘 여러 가지 좋은 장면들을 많이 만들었는데
So there were a lot of highlights from today's series. So, and I would like to say that synergy with you and Haru was really amazing.
특히 뭐 하루 선수 같은 경우는 들어갈 때마다 막 키가
You know, Haru, every time you went in, you made a kill there.
그런 싸움 같은 거는 좀 확실한 경우만 하니까
You know, I always open team fight when I am confident that I can get a point.
연습 때도 이렇게 잘 되니까 이렇게
And you know, everything I did in the competitive game is based on what I did in the scrims.
그런 얘기를 했었어요. 플라이 선수가 합류하고 뭐 연습을 같이 하긴 했습니다만
Well, some people were saying that there can be a lack of teamwork with you and Haru because Fly is a newcomer for Gen.G Esports.
생각보다
Well, I've been a pro player for a long time, so I can fit into any kind of team. So I wasn't really that worried.
다른 선수라고는 다 친하다는데 앰비션 선수는 아직은 좀 서먹하다 뭐 이런
Well,
얘기.
I want to ask about you and Ambition. I heard that you are not feeling really that comfortable with him
찬영이 형이
still.
좀 마음을 좀 살짝 열어준 것 같긴 해요.
Well, not really, because I think Ambition has opened his mind to me. He has been talking to me recently, so yeah, I think we're becoming friends.
늦게 지나더라도 나중에 오래 갈 수 있는 관계가 있으니까 아마 이런 것들 이런 것들.
So the breaking news said, Fly said, I'm a professional player and I'm a good friend with Ambition.
전반적으로 좋은 장면들이 좀 많이 등장을 했었습니다. 이 장면 중에서 경기를 보면서 좀
So
얘기를
is there
나눠보도록
any
하겠습니다.
highlights that you want to
쭉
mention?
한번 만나볼까요? 전체 팀킬 로그가 지금 나오고 있어요.
So this is the whole kill log from the whole team.
들이 한번 만들어지기 시작했었고 그 여파가 탑쪽 정글 그리고 탑쪽까지 연결되면서 이제 마무리가 되는 이런 모습들이 있었거든요.
So it can be kind of dominant game from Gen.G Esports, right?
킬 장면이 있나요? 이 장면에서 혹시?
저부터 말해도 되나요?
상관없죠.
저는
I would like to say,
갑자기
after when we took Baron,
캐넨 한 방에 터진 거.
well, I just solo killed Cannon with my Zoe.
8번? 아니 6번이구나 6번.
So you mean the kill number 6, right?
26분 53초.
그런 것 같아요.
Exactly.
보여드릴까요?
Then let's check out the clip.
좀 시간 걸린대요. 26분 53초.
Well, it'll take a
지금
while.
하고 있을게요. 요건가? 요거죠.
So this is the one, right?
이거.
네,
네.
죽을 줄 몰랐어요.
본인도
Well,
그랬어요?
I actually did not
맨날
expect
저희면
that.
당연히 죽었을 텐데.
네.
좀
I mean,
바뀌었잖아요,
Zoe
저희가.
has
그러니까요.
been nerfed a lot,
죽을 줄은
so
상상도 못하고 그냥
I actually didn't
피가
expect Cannon to
100 정도
die
나올
right
것
away.
같았는데 죽어서 신기했어요.
저희도
So
더
yeah, it was
신기했어요.
kind of awesome.
저희 처음에 건들 때부터 데미지 다는 게 장난이 아니라서 좀 신기하다고 좀 봤었거든요.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
근데
Like,
저때도 계산이
we
안 됐어요.
commentator
한 번에
were
갈
really
거라고.
amazed by your play.
그냥 피가 없어질 거 조금 남을 거라고만 생각을
Well, I
했는데
thought I was
그러니까
gonna make him in a very low health, but I actually didn't expect him to die.
이 장면은 이제 본인도 신기하다는 걸로 일단 마무리 짓도록 하겠습니다. 뭐 기자분들은 좀 좋아하실 것 같아요. 하루 선수는
So
어때요?
moving on
저
to
장면
Haru,
떠오르는 장면도 좀
what are your
있었어요?
comments about that moment?
1세트는 좀 딱히 없는 것 같아요.
Well,
그러면
there
이
is no
세트
highlight
한번
from
준비해보도록
the
하겠습니다.
game
이
1 I can
세트에
remember.
하루 선수가 뭘 했는지
So let's
이 세트
move on
한번
to the
보도록
game
하겠습니다.
2.
카밀에게 이제 성장력을 좀 밀어주는 그런 모습들이 좀 있었는데요. 좀 볼까요? 중앙 위주에서 많은
So
변화들이
there were a
있었거든요.
lot of
특히나
kills coming
그
from
이유
the
중에
mid
하나가
lane,
상대편
right?
아타 조합을 맞받아치는 그 과정에서
I think
킬들이
you
좀
guys
굉장히
really
빠르게 어땠어요?
Prepared really good counter pick against Mr. E and
기억에
Tarek.
남는 장면?
네네.
네, 저는 이제 그 이즈리얼을 좀 혼자 죽이는 장면?
Well, when I solo killed Ezreal,
그 장면이 좀
I think yeah, that's the one I remember the most.
혼자 죽는 장면이 한 2번 있어요. 6번에 20분 57초.
Well, there are several moments that you took down the bank by yourself, right?
6번쯤 되겠네요. 6번. 저 장면 한 20분 57초. 저 장면인데 그만큼 지금 중앙 지역에서 혼전의 양상들이 좀 많이
So there were a lot of
그러면
small and
지금
big
이것도
team
한번
fights in the mid lane. So let's check out the clip later on.
장면이 임팩트 있는 모습들이 많았었고 이제 카밀에게 좀 밀어주는 그
So you
과정에
did
있어서
make a very
초반부터
impressive
좋은 그림이
performance
있었잖아요.
on your Camille.
초반에는 그런 좀 계획된 장면이었어요.
Was that all
코어전에서
planned?
선수까지 불러서
With you and
상대편을
also
맞춰서
your synergy with Core JJ.
일단 팀에서 콜이 나온 것 같고 그 초반 한
Yeah, other players in my team actually gave me the call
팀에서 콜이 나와서
to open
이제
team fight in the jungle.
콜이니까 가서 킬한 것 같아요.
확실한 골이니까.
And I had a lot of
그 장면
confidence
말고 본인이
playing
인상
it.
깊었던
So
장면
yeah, I
다시 한번
think
보면서 한번
we were
이야기
successful for
나눠볼까요?
making a
그
kill
장면입니다.
over there.
이거예요?
네, 이 장면.
네.
So this moment here,
조금만 더 설명해 주실까요, 그러면?
제가 초시계 가긴 했는데
네네, 맞아요. 본인이 초시계로 기가 막히게 시간을 끌었어.
칭찬해주세요.
엄청나게.
Yeah, my
초시계.
stopwatch play was
찬양해.
awesome.
나 그때 그 초시계 나올지 생각도 못했어. 근데 하루 타이밍이었는데. 하루 선수가.
and what about you, Haru? What are your comments?
이 장면도 너무 좋았다. 초반에 아까 전에 말씀드리셨던 초반에 그
I guess
그
this
장면이었고.
was the one that you
이 장면은
mentioned about the early
싸움을
team
통해서
fight.
한번 제거하는 장면이었고 아까 그 장면 중에서는 우리 그 플라이 선수의 초시계가 기가 막혔다.
And in the team fight near the
박수 한번
Baron,
주세요.
yeah,
엄청 좋았어요, 예.
Fly does deserve a compliment for using his stopwatch.
지난번과는 훨씬 더 편해졌어요 분위기가.
좀
오늘 경기력이 좀 만족스러웠나 봐요.
So Fly, are you satisfied with your
아무래도
play overall?
SKT잖아요.
맞아요.
You know, our
맞아요.
opponent was SK Telecom.
저도 만족스러워요.
Yeah, I am also very
지난번에
satisfied.
그랬죠. 오늘만큼만 했으면 좋겠다. 오늘은 오늘만큼만 한 것 같아요.
So are you think you're just
안 하고 좀 잘한 것
con-
같아요.
continue to play well during the season?
플라이 선수한테 이것도 물어보고 싶어요.
Yeah, I think I am doing well. I'm really confident that I'm gonna keep up with my good work throughout the season.
기대에 어울리는 걸 하겠습니다. 이렇게 조심스럽게 얘기를 했었는데 지금 분명히 강팀도 잡아가고 그러면서 젠지 e스포츠에 정말
So
필요한 존재로
you
지금
have
얘기하고
faced very
있잖아요.
strong
특히
opponents
팬
already.
여러분께서도 오늘 이
So
멋진 장면 때문에 더 크게
you guys are
응원하셨을 것 같은데
predicted
팬
to
여러분께
show better
오늘만큼
performance from now on.
있었고, 상대편을 한 방에 잡는 이런 멋진 장면도 보여줬는데 기대하시라고 한 말씀
So
해주신다면요?
is there any last words you want to say to your fans?
잠깐만요. 머리가 좀 하얘졌어요.
Just a moment, please.
뭐또 이겼잖아요. 어떻게 됐든.
So we picked up another victory. So
경기 이제 MVP.
our next opponent will be MVP.
이번에 또 이제 열심히 준비를 해서
So we're gonna continue this hard work,
오늘처럼 깔끔하게
and
이기도록
we're gonna make sure to show clean performance just as we did today.
자, 이제 하루 선수도 지난번과는 좀 다릅니다. 지난번보다도 훨씬 더
And Haru,
저도 그 비결을 배우고
you seem a little bit more aggressive today, right?
좋아 보이고 워낙 경기력이 좀
And
좋은
you look
경기를 나오고
extra
있는데
confident
이제 팬
today.
여러분께 조금 더 자신 있는
So any last words?
어떻습니까? 이제 젠지 e스포츠 안에서의 하루 선수 어떤 자신감 있습니까?
Starting as a jungler of Gen.G
일단
Esports.
예전에는 좀 집중력이 많이 떨어진다고.
Well, back in the days, I used to lose
올해 가면 갈수록
focus during the
집중력이
games,
떨어졌는데
especially in the longer
집중이
games.
그냥 계속 처음부터 끝까지
But I think I improved on it, so I can keep focus in games. And I also got rid of my mistakes.
항상 비슷한 모습을 좀 보여드릴 것 같아요.
So I'm hoping to play consistently throughout the season. Is there any message you want to tell your team leader?
안 나오고 있는데
네.
좀
Well,
바쁜 시기 끝나면 나갈게요.
I've heard that he has been busy nowadays, so I hope to be back in the gym soon.
헬스장 관장님도 아실 것 같아요. 자, 이렇게 두 명의 선수와 좀 이야기를 나눠봤습니다. 지난번 경기에 이어서 오늘 경기 역시 멋진 승리를
So
따내는
this
두
will
명의
be the end of the
선수의
interview with Fly and Haru from Gen.G Esports, and I will pass it back to our casters.
큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다.
Well, that was a nice interview with a couple of guys we had here from Gen.G. 2 quick games, 29 minutes, 23 minutes. Yeah, very, very easy for Gen.G. Honestly, SKT need to step up if they want to be true contenders for the second round when they face off against Gen.G.
They're actually lucky that I looked at the schedule and they have a 5-day break till the next series, which in a season like this where we play 6 days a week is actually a really long break. This is probably the longest break they'll have all season as a result. So use the time wisely is really all I can say. I know it sounds empty, but they need the time to practice. We'll show you the schedule for the remainder of this week. We're all the way on day number 4 of 6. We have quite the day tomorrow. First match may prove to be a preview of the LCK Summer Final, but Gen.G's going to have an argument about that one as well, I'm sure.
You guys can see the next times we're here at SPO TV as well on Sunday and Tuesday and the next Friday, which is kind of the new schedule, at least for this first month, and a couple of other Fridays. So extra days here. It's been a lot of fun today. Outside of that second series was a little bit too one-sided.
Yeah.
A bit sad for the SKT fans as well.
They are the dominant fan base, so to see them so powerless, you know, they've tried so many things. They've tried carry, they've tried support. I don't think support, Tarek, is the future for FLICKR. I think that's not the way to unlock him, but I just don't know if that would have changed anything this series. So that's the worry. The jungle position is still a struggle. They had 10 players going into the offseason. They kept the same 10 players, and so far it doesn't seem like they have a configuration that can get anywhere near Gen.G, and by that token, FLICKR, KT, arguably Kingzone, and perhaps more teams. So right now, that hope for actually making their first ever Korean World Championship, which remember, one of the few things SKT have never done is represent in Korea at an international event like that. That's the struggle right now.
Yeah, I mean, people are even posting on Twitter like, can these guys get out of relegations? Can these guys, you know, go that far? I think it's still a little bit too early to call them like down and out. They need a little bit of time to get used to the meta and stabilize here, but it's going to take a bit of time.
They have played two strong teams, but they need the time.
Yeah, they definitely do. So guys, that's going to do it for us again. Thank you once again for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Good night.
See you always wanna go. It's been many days, many ways misled, knowing that I'm tiptoeing on both sides of the fence, trying to figure it out, but I'm living in doubt. So scared one day that your grace might run out, cause I'm so far from perfect, so close to worthless, feeling no good for worship, trying to understand this life that you purchased. Am I just a man destined for death, or do I deserve it? You died for my sins and that's the verdict. You carried out God's true will and purpose, with urgency for the sake of love, forgiveness and eternity, your grace is enough. I got so many questions, so many things to change. I'm calling out, but sometimes you're far away. I get discouraged and seem to always fall flat, but that's when you pick me up and bring me back.